Welcome to the journey of a breath. In this video, we will be conducting an anatomical and physiological exploration of the respiratory system. The prerequisite for life is the cellular demand for oxygen. The body's energy cannot be produced without it. Every cell relies on the respiratory system for a constant supply of O2 to create ATP, the fuel for all biological functions. As shown here, oxygen and nutrients from food enter the mitochondrion to produce ATP energy, releasing carbon dioxide as waste. Essentially, oxygen plus nutrients yields ATP plus CO2. The respiratory system is more than just airflow. It performs multifaceted roles. While gas exchange is its primary mission, the system also plays a key role in homeostasis, communication, and defense. This includes regulating blood pH by balancing carbon dioxide removal, enabling voice production, and providing a defense shield against external threats. Additionally, actions like coughing, sneezing, and even yawning are all managed by this system. Next, we enter the conditioning chamber, the upper respiratory tract. Before reaching the lungs, incoming air must be filtered, warmed, and humidified. These crucial preparations happen in the upper airway. The process begins in the nasal cavity, which warms and humidifies the air. It then moves to the pharynx, a shared passageway for both air and food. Finally, the air reaches the larynx, also known as the voice box, which protects the lower airway and produces sound. Moving down, we encounter the trachea, a conduit engineered to remain open. The trachea is a durable, flexible tube designed to ensure an unobstructed path to the lungs. Its unique structure prevents collapse, even under changing pressure. This rigidity is provided by C-shaped cartilaginous rings, which ensure the airway stays open during respiration. Next is the bronchial tree, a path to millions of destinations. The trachea divides into an intricate network of smaller tubes, known as the bronchi and bronchioles, ensuring air is distributed throughout the entire lung tissue. An important clinical note: the right bronchus is wider and more vertical than the left. Consequently, inhaled foreign objects are more likely to become lodged there. We have reached the destination, the alveoli. The journey of inhaled air ends in millions of these microscopic sacs. This is the critical interface where gas exchange between the air and the bloodstream takes place. The structure of the alveoli represents a masterpiece of biological design. It is exquisitely optimized for rapid and efficient gas diffusion through two key features. First, there is a vast surface area. If flattened, the surface of all alveoli in the lungs would cover a tennis court, maximizing the area available for gas exchange. Second, the barrier is extremely thin. The alveolar wall is only one cell thick, consisting of type 1 pneumocytes, which creates a minimal distance for gases to travel. Now we observe the physics of life: gas exchange by diffusion. Oxygen and carbon dioxide move passively across the alveolar capillary membrane, naturally flowing from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. Specifically, oxygen flows from its high concentration in the alveoli into the blood, where the concentration is low. Conversely, carbon dioxide moves from high concentration in the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. Finally, we look at the diaphragm, the engine of breathing. Breathing is an active mechanical process powered by this large, dome-shaped muscle that separates the thoracic and abdominal cavities. The diaphragm is the primary driver of calm, quiet breathing and works in concert with the intercostal or rib muscles. Ultimately, its contraction and relaxation drive the necessary changes in chest volume. Now we examine the mechanics of inhalation, which relies on creating negative pressure. To inhale, the diaphragm contracts and flattens, increasing the volume of the chest cavity. This action lowers the pressure inside the lungs relative to the outside air, causing air to flow in. The process follows this specific sequence. The diaphragm contracts, chest volume increases, internal pressure decreases, and finally, air rushes in. Next, we look at the mechanics of exhalation, which involves passive recoil and a critical failsafe. During normal breathing, exhalation is a passive process. The diaphragm relaxes, returning to its dome shape, and the natural elastic recoil of the lungs pushes the air out. However, a crucial failsafe exists called residual volume. Even after a forced exhalation, a volume of air always remains in the lungs. This prevents the delicate alveoli from collapsing and sticking together. Finally, we meet the master controller, the brain's respiratory center. Our breathing rhythm is automatically controlled by the brainstem, specifically the medulla. Interestingly, this center's primary job is not to detect low oxygen, but rather to respond to rising levels of carbon dioxide in the blood. The control mechanism works like this. First, CO2 levels rise in the blood. Second, the medulla detects this change. Third, signals are sent to the diaphragm and respiratory muscles. And finally, breathing rate and depth increase to expel the excess CO2. To summarize, from the simple cellular need for energy arises one of the body's most elegant systems. It is a masterpiece of engineering that seamlessly integrates anatomy, physics, and neural control. This system connects the controller, the CO2-driven control center in the medulla, with the engine, comprised of the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. Together, they drive air through the respiratory tract to the alveoli for gas exchange. Every breath is a testament to this incredible biological design.